none of the 7 previous committees bothered to access the emails of our ambassador. So if you want a window into Libya and what was happening in the weeks and months before these 4 were killed, why would you not look at the ambassador's emails? He was a prolific emailer.
All right, joining us now on the Malzberg panel, David Swerdlick, assistant editor of PostEverything at the Washington Post, and Larry Elder, radio host of The Larry Elder Show and author of Dear Father, Dear Son, 2 Lives, 8 Hours. And gentlemen, that, of course, Trey Gowdy, the committee will hear from Hillary Clinton on Thursday. And for the first time, we have emails. You know, we hear, oh, there's been 7, 8 committees. First time we have emails from Ambassador Chris Stevens, who was begging for security staffing before the 9/11 attack, Larry.
Yeah, that was just 2 days before the attack, and we're going to finally get to the bottom of whether or not any laws were violated. Remember, this whole thing is about 4 dead Americans, including the ambassador, about whether or not there were security measures that were appropriate, and why did we hear that bogus story that Susan Rice put out on all those Sunday chat shows. But Hillary now is cocky. She believes that because of the lifeline thrown to her by McCarthy and by Republican Hanna, and Obama publicly saying that he doesn't think that national security was compromised, she thinks she can go on the attack, put the committee on the offensive, and she may win the battle politically, but legally she's in real serious trouble.
And David, we find out that in response to his pleading for security, he was asked by Assistant Secretary of State in a response email, here's an email that was sent by Sidney Blumenthal on this issue. Why don't you read this, Mr. Ambassador? You believe this garbage?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not clear to me that there's a good excuse for why Sidney Blumenthal was being consulted so heavily in this. Look, everybody has their outside and private, kitchen cabinet and confidants, but this was an issue to be dealt with in the State Department chain of command. I think it can both be true that the way this was handled at the State Department under a secretary's leadership can be called into question. I also think it can be true at the same time, like Congressman Hanna and like Congressman McCarthy alluded to, that there's a lot of political motivation behind the ongoing investigation.
Larry, I don't care what the motivation is. If they could show that Hillary was negligent in providing security and that Hillary broke the law or was at least irresponsible and cavalier with national security and classified information, then I don't care what their motivation is. Don't shoot the messenger. This woman wants to be our president.
That's right, and there are several other people that were prosecuted for doing a lot less. They came forward, they put together a press conference, these alleged whistleblowers who were prosecuted for negligently dealing with classified information. It doesn't matter whether or not it was marked classified or not. So Hillary remains in very serious legal jeopardy.
All right, David, I want you to hear this. I want you both to hear it, but David, you'll be the first one to weigh in.
Okay.
This is Hillary being asked about the emails by Jake Tapper on CNN. But she laughed a lot. And she laughed over the fact that the FBI was involved. She laughed over the fact that people were serious about hearing this. So I mean, what do you think about that?
Look, Steve, I did see the clip of her and Jake Tapper. Look, I don't put too much stock in that. Like the point that you and Larry are making, these committee hearings are happening Thursday. If the committee has unearthed new information that the public and reporters don't know about yet, so be it. Let's go ahead and have this hearing. The secretary should be questioned by the members of Congress, and let's move on with the hearing. Her response to Jake Tapper, though, look, she's running for president, as you said. She's trying to sound casual, act natural, whatever. I don't take that as her making light of the situation as much as her trying to appear cool, calm, and collected. You know, if more serious allegations.
Let's hear it, David. I finally got it.
I know Bernie Sanders said that, quote, the American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails. But there are a lot of people who are not.
Well.
Including FBI officials looking into whether national security was compromised because of this server.
That's disgusting.
It is. As I mentioned before, people have gone to jail and been prosecuted for doing a lot less. And all she's doing is trying to act as if this is nothing more than another vendetta, a witch hunt by these dastardly Republicans. And that's her way of going on the offense. She's going to put the committee on trial. Meanwhile, there's a serious investigation going on, and we're going to find out what exactly happened.
All right.
You guys are making too much of this. Bernie Sanders let her off the hook in the debate. It was an unusual moment. She's trying to sound casual. That's all it is. Let's hear the hearing.
She's laughing at the fact that the FBI is investigating the emails.
Well, if the FBI turns something up, she won't be laughing very long. But let's not make too much out of the Jake Tapper interview.
Well, I disagree. Larry?
Same here. She's trying to act as if this is nothing more than a bunch of people spending a lot of money, $4.7 million investigation, longest investigation, yada blah, et cetera. Never mind, the reason it's so long is because they haven't been turning over documents. This is a very serious probe. People have been prosecuted for it for doing a lot less.
All right, and by the way, Hillary won the debate in the eyes of Democratic viewers to the debate, but in the post-debate polls, it's Bernie Sanders who got the biggest bump, slightly, like 5 points to Hillary's 3 points. So it didn't translate. A huge victory in the debate didn't translate to victory in the latest polls. We're coming back with part 2 of the panel. Don't go away. And welcome back to the Malzberg panel. David Swerdlick and Larry Elder are with us. And gentlemen, it appears now, as first reported by Newsmax over the weekend and now confirmed by various media outlets, Donald Trump and Ben Carson will be getting Secret Service protection. And Larry, I mean, I think it's a long-term time in coming. These are the two front runners by far, and they've received multiple threats, according to many sources.
That's right. It's about time. At the same time, in the 2008 campaign, Obama had received Secret Service protection. The question is, what took him so long? Donald Trump has a theory, and I can't say it on the air, but he believes that there's bias against Republicans. Shockingly, he believes that.
David?
Look, I'm taking everything Donald Trump says about this with a grain of salt. I agree they should have Secret Service protection. Look, regardless of where any American stands on the candidates and the issues, they should want the candidates to be safe and secure. So if the Secret Service deems it necessary for Trump and Carson and whoever else to have Secret Service protection now, it's fine. Just like it was fine for President Obama to have Secret Service protection early on in the 2008 cycle.
All right, we all agree.
Yeah, we agree.
All right, Larry, I'm getting sick and tired, really, of Biden, any minute, any day, any minute, any day, any minute. He's considering, he's talking to his family. I mean, now it's put up or shut up time by the end of this week, I got to feel. And we're hearing, you know, if you listen to all the different sources, he's interviewing staff, etc. Right. It looks like he's getting in.
I was one of those who predicted from day one that he was going to get in, but I also went to University of Michigan, and I saw the Michigan State game, so I'm not saying anything right now. I thought that because Hillary survived the debate, didn't get trashed on her emails, and has now gotten much of America convinced that the Benghazi probe is nothing more than political. I thought Joe Biden might be too scared to get in. So I'm not sure what he's going to do right now. I really don't know.
Yeah, I think the race could use him because a lot of the Democratic also-rans are just not going to run a formidable campaign. If you had Biden in there, you'd have 3 legit contenders, Sanders, Clinton, and Biden. It would be an interesting race. There'd be some interesting debates. That being said, unless something unforeseeable happens right now, I think Clinton is on the trajectory she wants to be on. I agree with Larry.
All right, here's something that happened that's really big over the weekend. Hillary Clinton talking about the Australian gun quote-unquote buyback, which really wasn't a buyback. Yeah, they paid your money for your gun, but they passed a law saying you're going to give us your gun. And so it was a mandatory confiscation with a compensation or a compensatory element. Here's what she said the other day.
Now, communities have done that in our country. Several communities have done gun buyback programs. But I think it would be worth considering doing it on the national level if that could be arranged. Remember, I know after the terrible 2008 financial crisis, I think one of the programs that President Obama was able to get in place was cash for clunkers. Remember that? You know, getting them off the road.
Yeah, cash for clunkers. I guess the Second Amendment doesn't apply to cars. I got to tell you, Larry, this is insanity.
And cash for clunkers was not mandatory. For crying out loud, the gun buyback program in Australia was mandatory, as you pointed out. It would be the equivalent of us taking 40 million guns away from Americans. There's something called the Second Amendment that we have that they don't have in Australia, but apparently Hillary has not put a lot of thought into that.
David, this is frightening, and I got to tell you, this will resonate, and this will put people all over the country who would never vote together to vote against this woman if she's the nominee, just based on what she said.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Look, I agree with you. The cash for clunkers analogy is terrible. That being said, look, Conservatives need to get a grip on one thing, and that is that Democrats, generally speaking, want to do something legislatively about gun control.
Confiscate your guns?
Hold on, let me finish. Republicans and conservatives can and should disagree with that. And yes, there is a Second Amendment, and no, I don't think it would work. But being mad at Democrats for being Democrats, I think, is sort of pointless. This will get litigated, as you said, in the general election. By the way, I think there are two issues, Larry and Steve, that are just intractable in the political sphere right now. Democrats are not going to get their way on guns, and Republicans are not ultimately going to get their way on abortion. That's just how it is in our society right now.
There's one more issue here, too, though. During the debate, Hillary and Bernie fell over themselves talking about how Black Lives Matter. There's a new USA survey poll that shows 72% of blacks want the same gun laws or want fewer of them, a much higher percentage than whites that want fewer, that want more.
Because they're getting killed at a higher rate.
Whites want more gun laws, blacks want less gun laws. 72% of blacks want fewer, want the same gun laws or fewer gun laws.
Larry, how dare
how Black Lives Matter.
How dare you reveal that? By the way, only one candidate had the guts to say all lives matter. Gotta go. Jennifer Rubin's next. Thanks, guys. You've probably heard about the shocking new book, Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary by Edward Klein. It's already skyrocketed to the top of the bestseller list. Ed Klein offers a stunning, powerful expose of Hillary Clinton and her floundering race for the White House. Klein also reveals the angry rivalry between Hillary and Barack Obama. Now, Unlikable retails for $29.95, but you can get it with our free offer. Get this almost $30 value free today. Just go online or call the toll-free number on your screen. That's a $30 value free. Do it now.